Jimmy, could you shed light on the future of Jim Schwartz?
Yeah, I think this. First of all, I think Todd made it clear. Andrew's made it clear. I think I made it clear back on January 5th. We think the world of Coach Schwartz. I think Jim and Jim's future is the subject for another day.
And just like I asked Todd about that, do you guys feel like, regardless of what happens with Jim, you will still have one of the most dominant defenses in the NFL, and you can assure your players of that as well?
I do. I feel really good. We have really good players, okay, and it starts there. It obviously helps to have a great coordinator and a great staff. We also have a great staff, and I think Jim would tell you the four leaders of the O-line, linebackers, or D-line, linebackers, cornerbacks, and safeties are all outstanding coaches. So we're excited moving forward.
Jimmy, why isn't this? Why can't you shed light on what's going to happen with Jim now?
Those conversations are ongoing. We'll talk about that at a later day. Today is to introduce Todd Monken as new head coach.
Jimmy, when did you, along the process, begin to think that Monken was rising to the top? And you know, you talk kind of in general terms about the toughness. And
Yeah.
What else about him? So when and what?
Yeah, you know, you go through a search process, and I think we started out with like 20, 25 candidates. I think we interviewed 9. I might be off by 1 there. And a search is, you know, it's a little bit like this. It's a little bit of a roller coaster. Somebody drops out, somebody comes in. You get better references or better test results on someone or worse, so it's a little bit of a roller coaster. I would say Todd was at the top of the list the entire time. I think our search lasted 20 days, and I'd say he was in leading the pack or in the front pack the whole time, Terry.
And Jimmy, what did you learn on your other coaching searches that affected you picking Todd?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I didn't pick him. Okay, we picked him. All right, but I say that we, capital we. And I want to thank Andrew and our team in terms of process. And process is extremely important in these searches because they're very emotional. There are all kinds of information out there. In all due respect, a lot of it not accurate. And so by having an organized, disciplined process, which we stuck to, and I think the first coach, whoever hires the first coach or the second coach is not necessarily the winner. 2 years from now, nobody will remember whether Todd was the 7th or 8th coach hired, whatever he was. What's count is, did we get the right guy? And I think our team laid out a good process, and I think we were disciplined throughout that process the entire time up to last Wednesday when we announced Todd as our head coach.
Jimmy, you talked about his experience with the quarterbacks, and obviously Andrew before had mentioned whoever you guys hired as head coach would have a lot of input there. Like, how confident are you with Todd's experience that he can help give a long-term answer at that position?
Like highly confident, highly confident. Now Andrew's got to help him. But we need players, but I'm highly confident.
How much did Jimmy? How much did players? Did you? I mean, interactions you have with players over the course of the process. I mean, Miles, Denzel, any of the senior, you know, the veteran, you know, leaders.
Yeah, I'll be honest. During the process, and Andrew might have been a little bit different. I didn't talk to any players, but JW, who's in the back of the room there, and myself interviewed 30 or 40 players post season and post the announcement of Kevin, and I think we got really good feedback offensively and defensively about what was needed.
The two of the attributes that have been just repeated with Todd Monken is accountability and player development. Why were those two so important to this organization specifically, to you guys in this search?
Well, I think all of us who have run organizations understand you have to have accountability. And as I mentioned, when JW and I interviewed or spent time with 30 or 40 of our players, if you said, give me one common word, is we need more accountability. So that stuck with us. And then player development, I believe we'll have the youngest team next year in the NFL. So obviously you need to have somebody who appreciates and is good at player development.
Jimmy, Todd was the first external candidate that you guys interviewed. Was that just logistics? Or
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Okay. Didn't tip off who you were heading to?
Yeah, and you remember you're dealing with lots of things. You're dealing with the Rooney Rule, okay? You're dealing with teams in the playoffs. The NFL has a much more controlled process than they've ever had before. As you'll remember, we were dealing with severe weather. So we were dealing with lots of different things. I wouldn't read the fact that we hired Todd it was because he was the second guy we interviewed. That's how it fell out.
Jimmy, you made it clear after you fired Kevin that you expected this team was going to win more than 8 games the last 2 years. So even though, as you said, you anticipate having one of the youngest younger teams? Is the expectation that this team's gonna win a lot more this year than they did last year?
Well, let's be careful with a lot more, Daryl, but do I expect we'll win more games? I do, and I think we'll have a better team, better football team, and I think it'll be what's Terry say? They're ugly to watch sometimes. We're not going to be ugly to watch, okay? And I actually take that seriously. I mean, we want it to be a fun team to watch, a team that plays hard, plays smart, and most of all wins.
Todd's got a lot of personality. I mean, up there today, he cried, he was joking, he was cursing. What do you think, how do you think that influences coaching style? What do you make of his personality? You know,
I think players, and really all of us, want to see real guys. And what you saw today, that's how Todd is. It wasn't like, well, he's not really, he might cuss a little more, but that's really what Todd is like, okay? And you see the emotion, you see the faith, you see the drive, the work ethic, the confidence. What you saw for the 25 minutes he was up there today, that's Todd Monken.
Jimmy, you mentioned the process and you mentioned the tests, and you guys, I think, took some grief for how you conduct your process. Do you think, first of all, do you think it's that different than what everybody else does in the league?
I have no idea, to be honest. I have no idea.
And what do you like about the way that you do it that includes the tests and asking guys to do, fill out?
Yeah, I think you have to be really careful to just weight everything on the interview, okay? Because sometimes strong personalities sell better than other personalities. And I think when we put a lot of confidence in references, and we probably had 30 references on everybody, and obviously you put more confidence in some references by how high they are up the totem pole, okay? So I think that's important. I think the testing we put them through is important, the body of work, and then the interview. And those are the four things we didn't short circuit, everybody did the same, and I think it served us well.
Jimmy, I know that the crews are about to start digging the hole for the dome. How concerned are you with lawsuits still pending? The lawsuit over unclaimed funds, the lawsuit filed by former Mayor Kucinich.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. 4 weeks from yesterday, we're going to start the largest construction job in Cuyahoga County history, so I think that would tell you how confident we are.
And how important is it too, because with the crew getting the Olympics there, how important is it to have the dome here and hopefully get some of those?
Yeah, I don't know if everybody read it, but the Olympics are actually going to take place in Columbus, Ohio, which seems a little strange since they're in Los Angeles, but there's so many soccer games, they need lots of venues. And so Columbus will have somewhere between 4 and 8 Olympic soccer games. And I just think that shows you with world-class venues what opportunities you will have. We will have that starting in '29 with new Huntington Bank Stadium.
Jimmy, 2 questions real quick. First of all, what did you make of Myles Garrett's reaction, and have you talked to him ever since he posted that thing on Instagram? That's my first question. My second question is going to be about Deshaun Watson, so I want to make sure to squeeze that in too.
Yeah, listen, I love Myles, okay? I haven't talked to him since the day after the season, but I'm highly confident Myles will come in here and break the sack record again and be the defensive player. He hadn't been named it, but I'll be shocked if he isn't, and will be a leader of our team.
Okay, and then the Deshaun Watson question is, do you guys feel like if Deshaun Watson is healthy, you have a potentially 3-time Pro Bowl caliber quarterback to offer to Todd Monken as he evaluates your quarterback room?
Yeah, I think that's, somebody asked a question about quarterback today, and I think Todd knows a little bit from playing us, but really, he's an offensive coach, and he'll start looking at that, and that'll be Todd's call. We have 3 quarterbacks on the roster, and we'll let Todd give us advice, and he and Andrew will work from there.
Jimmy, two more. We're going to go Jason, we're going to go Tony.
Jimmy, I know we're doing Browns today, but Giannis obviously is a talking point in the NBA. Do you expect a Giannis trade?
I would say this, Jason, Giannis is, I don't know, top 3, top 4 player in the world. He brought Milwaukee its first championship in 50 years, several years ago. And he's a really good person, too. He's no problem. He's a great leader, tries hard. And I think Giannis and the Bucks, and this goes back to before we were involved, have always worked closely to see what's best for Giannis and what's best for the Bucks, and we'll continue to do so.
What's a successful trade look like?
I can't. That's a question for John Horst.
Todd said he wanted to keep the same defensive system. You made reference to all the good assistant coaches you have on defense. Should we assume that they will be back definitively?
Yeah, we would hope so. We would hope so. I can't say definitively, but we would hope to have, by and large, we have a couple of free agents, the same players, okay, which is a great place to start, right? And then the same basic coaching staff.
Thank you, guys.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Good to see you all.